Welcome to this mini webinar about the Surveyor General sketchbooks. The sketchbooks consist of tracings and sketches. In many cases, the sketches were forwarded to the Surveyor General as enclosures to letters by surveyors from all over the colony of New South Wales. They were later stuck into volumes and numbered, which is why they are called the sketchbooks. The tracings and sketches mostly relate to plans of towns and villages, and their extension or alteration, and allotments of land sold or granted to various persons. They also show land where the ownership is in dispute, where there are encroachments on Crown lands, reserved roads and street alignments in towns. They also show land reserved for churches, schools, cemeteries and other public purposes. The sketchbooks are available in black and white on microfilm. More importantly, 23 of the 32 volumes have been digitised, and that's what we'll be looking at. There is 2,844 digitised sub-items. Basically, the small tracings or sketches available on collection search, covering roughly 1827 to 1867. So this is our homepage, www.records.nsw.gov.au. To find the sketchbooks, just scroll down to the search box, type in the words, and hit enter or click on the magnifying glass. As well as finding you the sketchbook series, it also finds the series number NRS 13886. Using the series number when searching makes searching for these sketches easier and clearer, particularly as there's a comparatively small number of items. So the series may not appear in this filtering system on the right-hand side. So use the series number as well as the search term for the best results. So you can search in the sketchbooks by person or place. To search by person, just add their name after the series number. Then click on the sub-item title. And then click on the image that's in Image Gallery. Images may be a little slow to load because they are quite high resolution. These sketches and tracings were often the basis from which maps of the colony were compiled. They don't cover every piece of land in New South Wales, but they do cover quite a broad expanse of New South Wales. So the digitised ones cover 1827 to 1867, but the whole series covers 1827 to 1890. This is a sketch. It's from 1829. So this is Bathurst Street in Sydney and Sussex Street. So if you're familiar with this area of Sydney, that intersection still exists. There's a lot of detail, even though it's a simple sketch. You can increase the size by clicking on the magnifying glass. That gives you more detail about how they've presented the water's edge. This is Darling Harbour. Or you can go to full screen and see a lot of the details there as well. There is also a separate viewer which enlarges it, but also allows you to really enlarge parts of the sketch. So you can see the slaughterhouse and its retaining wall in great detail. Need to use the scroll bars to move around the map. So you can see there's a steam mill at the top of the plan, an encroachment wall there, which is probably why the sketch was done. When you've finished with that image, you can just close it. Close this image and close the sub-item. So we're going to search for Wilson to have a look at a broader range of the sketchbook sketches. It shows two things. People are here as different for different reasons. So this is a surveyor, Surveyor Wilson, whereas Joe Wilson is a private individual who is occupying land. You can see different areas of the sketches cover: Sydney, Grafton, Currajong. Field of Mars, Kiama. But this is one we're going to have a look at, which is up near the Clarence River in the north of the state. Again, quite a simple image. It shows the land, which was obviously there was a problem, so they've cancelled that. And this is a good example of why it's useful to look at sketches that don't necessarily relate to your individual. It might just be in the area where your individual was, or in an area of the state that you're interested in. It shows Garrard steam and sawmills. It shows a little cluster of buildings around the plan here. So there will always be more detail on any sketch over simple it is, so well worth having a look at it. Note also that first names don't always appear in the titles, just the surname may be listed, or it might say Mr. Wilson or Surveyor Wilson, or it might be an abbreviated first name. So just using the surname is the best way to search. You can also search by place. Place in sketchbooks is a mix of place names like Port Macquarie, Grafton, Dubbo, Windsor that we're familiar with, and parish and county names like the parishes of Alexandria or Mehi or Hillgrove. Counties, Westmoreland, Durham, Buckland, so on and Rees. So to search by a county, again, just simply click enter the title details, click on enter, and it'll bring up a number of options. I'm going to look at this one, which shows 9 parishes in the county of Selwyn. It's quite a different plan. It shows a much greater area of land than the previous ones did. This is the Murray River, which is the boundary for most of these. So we'll go to this viewer. Parts of what are now Victoria and Queensland are also in the sketchbooks because Victoria and Queensland were still part of New South Wales at the time. But think about the names that you might find. Victoria and Queensland were in common usage in that century. So looking for things like Port Phillip or Moreton Bay would be a great way to search. You can see that this sketch shows the parish names being altered. The parish of Greg became Greg. The parish of Wallaragain also changed its spelling. And along all of it are the curves of the Murray River. You can also search by place name, so Springwood, terms that we're familiar with. You can order copies of these sketches using our shopping cart, just here on the side. But you can also just right-click on them, click copy image and save a copy to where you want to go. So this is the image relating to Springwood and its military depot. It's quite a simple image. Shows the road coming from Parramatta to the ferry near where Penrith would be today, and following that road, which is similar to the Great Western Highway, all the way up to the military depot at Springwood, and then extending beyond that to Bathurst. You'll notice that there was some damage on these sketches. There is on quite a few of them, and also some fairly unconventional repair methods. We'll look next at a sketch for Bilpin. There's quite a few sketches that cover that area, perhaps indicating that it was being settled around this time. So we'll look at this one for John Elliott's 100 Acres. This is really quite a complex sketch. It was originally done in 1829, but these additions here were written in the 1880s, so it's 50 years of use of this sketch for a range of purposes. There's a huge amount of detail across this plan. Starting with the information here for J.B. Richards the Surveyor. He carried out this plan in July to October 1829. So this is a good time to talk about some of the other series from Surveyor General that these sketchbooks link to. Series like NRS 13889, the Surveyor's Field Books, that you could just search through collection search or through the indexes to see if you could find Richard's sketchbook, field books. Or NRS 13859, Crown Plans. And the less well-known NRS 13736, letters received from surveyors, which cover 1822 to 1855. There's an index on our website. You could look for Surveyor Richards and see if you could find letters about the time that he sent this sketch in. So moving further up the sketch, you'll see that he's plotted the boundary of these portions. And he's added a great lot of detail. So you'll find little houses drawn to indicate where people have their properties. There's another one here. And also the sort of land that it was. So these hatchings indicate higher land. And then you notice that there are no portions selected here. And Richard's description probably explains this: poor scrubby country. Whereas once you get out of the poor scrubby country, more portions of land selected, more little houses. He seems to be a really thorough surveyor. He's marked really clearly how he's done his marking. So he's indicating this is probably a tree, and he's put his surveyor's marks on it. He's put SB on the side on that one. On this one, he's put 3 spots. And again, on each of these, indicating where the properties were on the land. This is inferior scrubby country, so doors may have missed out on some of the best land. So these are incredibly useful sketches which show a huge amount of detail. I hope you'll be able to look at them. Thank you for joining this webinar about the Surveyor General sketchbooks.